The words that come to mind when you think of actor Theo James might be hunk, heartthrob, or the like. And with his movie star good looks, it's understandable. However, the actor is way deeper than simply his on-screen appearance. Even if most recently he's been turning heads in season 2 of the hit satirical HBO series The White Lotus. This season introduces an entirely new setting, this time taking place at a luxury resort in Italy, and also introduces a new cast, where one of the main characters is Cameron, played by Theo himself. The premiere episode alone offered a shocking moment with Theo bearing it all for the camera, which according to the actor was the subtle version. You'll just have to see it for yourself if you haven't yet. But there's much more to Theo James than meets the eye, and likely a lot of things you didn't know about him, so stay tuned because we'll fill you in on his early years, his path to fame, and much more here for you on Famous Life. Theodore Peter James Kinnaird Tepticlis was born December 16, 1984 in High Wycombe, England. His parents are Philip Tepticlis, who is a business consultant, and his mother Jane, who worked for the National Health Service. His paternal grandfather was Greek, which is where Theo's last name comes from, while the rest of his ancestry is English and Scottish descent. Theo is the youngest of 5 children with 2 older brothers and 2 older sisters. While Theo's grandfather moved from Greece to New Zealand, where Theo's father was raised, and his mother's family is from Glasgow, Scotland, Theo and his siblings were raised in Ascot, Buckinghamshire, England. Theo went to Aylesbury Grammar School for high school and then went on to study at the University of Nottingham, where he received a degree in philosophy. He also trained at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School. In fact, Theo reportedly fell into acting kind of by accident. After graduating from university, his girlfriend at the time wanted to try out for drama school, and he tagged along for the ride. In the end, Theo wound up getting in while his former girlfriend didn't. Despite having a pretty unique path to fame, which we'll get to more in a moment, Theo did always claim to have a passion for the craft. While studying philosophy, he found himself making short films and participated in a handful of student plays while in college. After he attended theater school, he did decide to pursue acting professionally and began to land small roles. In 2010, he made his TV debut in 2 episodes of A Passionate Woman starring opposite Billie Piper, and then appeared in the first season of Downton Abbey. Unfortunately, his character in Downton Abbey, Mr. Kamal Pamuk, only lasted 1 episode because he dies in the middle of a sex session. However, Mr. Pamuk changes the course of the entire show. That same year, James was also in the film You Will Meet a Tall, Dark Stranger, which he was cast in while still completing drama school. However, before he would be a Hollywood actor, Theo also held a variety of different jobs. Some of these include pretty normal gigs like being a bartender and a lifeguard, but one unique job he had was working for the National Health Service, where his job was actually to clean up dead people's bodily fluids. Well, acting seemed to call out more to Theo than those career paths, and it was certainly the right one. In 2011, he had some other roles, including the short-lived horror show Bedlam, as well as in the British comedy The In-Betweeners movie. But Theo wouldn't become well-known globally until he scored a main role in the Divergent movies a few years later. Until this big break came for Theo, he was in some TV series including Room at the Top and Case Sensitive in 2012, and in Golden Boy a year later. In terms of films, he was in The Domino Effect and Underworld Awakening alongside Kate Beckinsale. In 2014, Theo landed his breakthrough role, portraying Tobias 4 Eaton in Divergent, the movie adaptation of the best-selling novels by Veronica Roth. He starred opposite Shailene Woodley as one of the main characters, and Theo would reprise the role in the sequel Insurgent in 2015, as well as the 3rd film Allegiant, which was released in 2016. Well, his role as 4 definitely helped Theo gain celebrity status, but he claims he wasn't exactly looking to be part of a blockbuster film series when he initially auditioned for Divergent. He was drawn to his character though, and in an interview, James described what made 4 such a special character and why he was so excited about it, saying, "I had an immediate affinity with him. I felt I kind of knew who he was and how I wanted to play him. There are similarities we share because you inevitably bring a part of yourself to every role you do, some more than others, but he is different. He has a stillness and masculinity that is reminiscent of those more old school characters that you see a bit less these days, especially in the younger age group." He was also excited about getting into shape for the role, and during filming, Theo trained 6 days a week and even put on pounds of muscle to help create his character, as 4 was a trained soldier. He also had to learn mixed martial arts. During those movies, Theo further returned to his character David for the 5th Underworld film series as the male lead, was in the film London Field starring alongside Amber Heard, Billy Bob Thornton and Jim Sturgis, and also in 2015 he appeared in the indie drama The Benefactor. Theo also executive produced and starred in Backstabbing for Beginners in 2018, and the same year played Will in the Netflix movie How It Ends. The following year, James executive produced and played Sidney Parker in the British series Sanditon as the male lead, which is an 8-part period drama adaptation of Jane Austen's final novel. While Theo has shown his ability to create distinct characters over the years, we can't help but wonder how he manages to do that. In an interview, the actor got candid about his process. He revealed how he's able to build a character from the ground up, and according to Theo, it's about marrying instinct with curiosity. He said, "It starts in development. I think you need to have a strong idea of how and in what way you want to play this character and what message you want to give with this character. I think a character can be really hard, but usually for me anyways, it's fairly instinctual. You read a character and think, yes, this is hard or this is medium, but I know instinctually the way into this character, whether that's in terms of his personality or something you like about him." Continuing, Theo added he has to stay open to different possibilities even after he's figured out the character. Beyond that, it's a little bit of trial and error, you know? You have to try things on set before it makes it into the cut because you have to see what they feel like and the director has to see what they feel like. Theo also launched his own film and TV production company named Untapped around the same time. He produced and appeared in the 2020 British sci-fi film Archive, where he played a robotic scientist, and also starred in the romance The Time Traveler's Wife, which premiered in May 2022. Most recently, we can see Theo as a series regular in the 2nd season of the satire show The White Lotus. The 2nd season of the show brings a whole new setting, taking place in Italy this time, as well as an entirely new cast except for a couple individuals like Jennifer Coolidge. Among the fresh faces are Theo James, Megan Fahey, Will Sharp, and Aubrey Plaza, who play two very different couples that are holidaying with each other. Theo's character in the show, Cameron, is a wealthy and successful businessman from a rich family who invites his college roommate Ethan Spiller to spend time with him and his wife Daphne in Sicily. During the trip, Cameron comes off as a narcissist who is ignorant of the current news. The premiere episode alone featured a shocking moment, with Theo bearing it all for the camera. According to the actor himself, that was the quote-unquote subtle version, with the final cut being toned down from what was shot originally. He explained about this. "I thought it was very interesting, but also very White Lotus in a Mike White the creator way. What he does is, this is Mike's writing. He treads the boundary of how calculated that was, or was it just easy breezy? On the day we had to figure out what that was because the original derivation of it's kind of full frontal, if you know what I mean. We shot that and it felt too much, too aggressive. What we came to is a bit more opaque, and that's exactly what Mike does so well. You're never sure 100% of the character's intention." Well, if you haven't watched White Lotus yet or didn't get started on season 2, you'll need to ASAP, so you know exactly what Theo is talking about. Clearly, while Theo James has proven himself as a heartthrob on the big and small screens, he has a lot more coming his way, and his role on the hit series as Cameron is likely only the beginning of more exciting new projects. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to Famous Life and leave a comment for who you'd like us to feature next.